Hello everyone, I'm Megan Sullivan and welcome to my review of Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, developed by Ryuga Gotoku Studios and published by Sega. This game is available on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox, and FYI, I am reviewing the Xbox version thanks to Game Pass. But is it even worth downloading, or is it worth the $50? Well, I say yes, but that yes comes with a caveat or two. The main caveat is if you haven't played a Yakuza game before, this is not the one to start with. It relies heavily on history, nostalgia, and lots of fan service, and if you don't know the series already, you're just going to be very confused. Also, because this game is a little mini-story between the events of Yakuza 6 and 7, the game is only about 10 hours long, so you won't be getting the full Yakuza experience, although this little adventure manages to hit all the main notes. But what about you Yakuza fans? Well, let me explain why even in this very busy year for video games, you owe it to yourself to carve out some time for the man who erased his name. Like a Dragon Gaiden is all about the legendary Yakuza member Kazuma Kiryu, who after several crazy events ended up having to fake his own death and abandon his name for the sake of protecting those he cares about. However, one rather powerful group knows Kiryu is alive, and in exchange for the group's silence, the Dragon of Dojima has agreed to join a spy network called Daidoji and act as their agent Joryu. Now to Joryu, going undercover and drastically changing his appearance means wearing expensive suits like he always has, beating people to a pulp like he always has, and wearing glasses. Yeah, that's it. Surprisingly, Kiryu's Clark Kent levels of camouflage doesn't work, and almost everyone recognizes the Dragon of Dojima and wants to use him for their own nefarious purposes. What are they planning? Well, half the fun is figuring that part out, so I'm not going to spoil it here, but let's just say there were some nifty twists during the course of my 10-hour adventure, which of course involved Joryu, trading fisticuffs with trash mobs and baddies who just wouldn't die no matter how hard I beat them, kicked them, shot them, or stabbed them. Seriously, people's tolerance for pain in this series is impressive. Now, full disclosure, I usually have to power through to the end of Yakuza games because the fighting gets pretty repetitive to me. Luckily, that is not the case here for two very good reasons. One, the short runtime. For me, it kept the narrative tight, and the obnoxious rando street fights didn't drive me nearly as crazy. The second thing that helped me get to the end credits is a feature I love so much I hope the series carries it forward, and that is the joyful addition of a new fighting style. Along with his usual approach to brawling that involves punching, kicking, blocking, evading, and walloping thugs with random objects, Kiryu can now access spiffy spy gadgets in agent mode. This new fighting style allows Joryu to do all sorts of crazy stuff. He can literally web sling like Spider-Man to tie up enemies, fling them around, fly through the air, etc, etc. He can toss explosive cigarettes to break up a huge crowd. He can jet around the battlefield in a special pair of dress shoes that let him quickly escape tricky situations while bowling over nearby opponents. Hell, he can even call in a drone strike. This is such a fresh, fun way to change up the combat style, and I love that you can use money and special points to unlock new moves and abilities that make combat all the more thrilling. On top of that, you can trigger a special heat gauge mode that temporarily boosts your attacks and makes Joryu, you know what, I'm just gonna call him Kiryu, look even cooler than he already does. Now, I admit there's some stiffness in battle, and while it's hilarious to watch Kiryu and his attackers ragdoll all over the place, it's annoying that sometimes Kiryu doesn't always respond very quickly to commands. But if things go south, I love that Kiryu can just swig a bottle of medicine, or eat a bento lunch in the middle of a death match, because that's normal, and then go in for round 2. In short, I enjoyed the super goofy combat because of the expanded combat variety. Now, most of these fun and frantic fights take place during the main story, but I'm happy to report that some of the most interesting challenges lie in the sub-stories. Yes, sub-stories return, and you will feel the emotional whiplash of dealing with missions that are both hilarious and heartfelt. By the way, this is where a lot of the fan service takes place, so if you have the time, definitely try to do as many of these as possible. To access these stories, you'll need to talk to the plucky information dealer Akame, a homeless advocate who uses the local homeless populace to gather intel. I really like Akame, by the way, she's spunky. Completing her request will not only earn her gratitude, which allows you to hang out with her more, it will earn you money and give you access to special Akame points that can be used to unlock skills or access unique items from her shop. So another nice incentive, at least for me, to accept Akame's special requests. Oh, speaking of shopping, konbinis, pawn shops, ramen stalls, all the usual places to heal up, fill up, and chill out are here, and of course you can dress Kiryu up like a doll if you so choose. It's annoying you can't compare equipped items to shop items to get a quick idea of the pros and cons of each accessory, but it's manageable. Also, there's not a lot of variety and depth to these items, but that's okay, it is a pretty short game. But short as it is, even the Dragon of Dojima needs a break, which is why I appreciate that Sega has included the usual mini-games to allow Kiryu some of that good downtime. Now, the good news is that if you enjoy karaoke, gambling, darts, golf, etc., it's all here. Unfortunately, at least for me, so is the Cabaret Club feature where Kiryu can flirt with real-life skimpily dressed models. I know, I'm in the minority, but I find the series' use of real-life models instead of NPCs super creepy. But on the other hand, you don't have to flirt with hostesses. Instead, you can liven things up by going to the castle, a shady underworld amusement park where players can undergo a series of skill checks by fighting at the Colosseum. The fun part about the Colosseum, it doesn't just feature one-on-one matches where you can win money and prizes. It features team combat, which consists of finding and recruiting fighters inside and outside the arena and then leveling them up so you can beat some fools to a pulp. Plus, participating at the castle will allow you to meet up with some familiar faces, especially if you pre-ordered the game. I liked this feature, and although I didn't get to spend a lot of time at the castle because I needed to get this review out the door, I will say I think fans are going to have some real fun with this. And guess what? The fun continues after the credits roll. One of the best things about finishing The Man Who Erased His Name is that you can access the demo for Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I cannot tell you what a joy it is to play both as Kiryu and my adorable wannabe Dragon Quest protagonist, Ichiban. I was squealing during this very short demo. I love Ichiban so much. He's such a goofy contrast to the forever cool Kiryu. You guys, I can't wait to play Infinite Wealth. At any rate, The Man Who Erased His Name is a loving homage to Kiryu's past and present, and I dare say most Yakuza fans are gonna be pretty happy playing it. But what do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you later.
好きなだけ付き合ってやる。何舐めた口聞いてんだ、おっさん。トラブル発生。車はまだか。到着まで3分。何があった？後で話す。少し休んでるといい。
大丈夫なんですか？
俺らはこんな時のために呼ばれてる。
どっかいいとこのお嬢様なのかな。大丈夫、うちの親もね、聞いたら絶対知ってる会社の社長。いいの、俺らに手出したらただじゃ済まないよ。
お前らも今回り右すりゃ無事に帰れる。さもなきゃこれから起きることは全部お前らの選んだ結果だ。